Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Sunjoku. We're back at it tonight. Wanted to go ahead and bring you guys some news that came out today. I think it was going to have a pretty big impact on the team. And then after last night's video, a few of you guys ended up calling me out. And I get it. You can give me hell. It's just who I am. I am a true fan of this Oakland Raiders team. Kaiser could be starting next week, and I'd be telling you why he's the best reason or the best thing that happened to us in the past 5 years. It's just the way that I am, man. If I got 5 guys are playing out there, I'm going to give them 110% support. So, wanted to just kind of take a step back, look at everything from the outside, not as a Raider fan. Try to see where you guys are coming from. This video is going to be painful. I'm not going to lie. There's going to probably piss a few people off. But I just want to see what these guys are talking about. So I just want to step back and just take a look at it, not as a fan, and see how it looks. So let's go ahead and jump into it real quick. The news is we activated Markel Lee. That's great news. We really needed another linebacker. And then we waived Trevor Davis. It's pretty short-lived in Oakland. I feel for him. I mean, he had that big play in his opening game, and he busted that touchdown, and we were all super stoked. He really hasn't done much, and then he muffed that kick last night. And that was pretty much it for him. So, sorry, Trevor Davis. Thank you for time served. But that's another receiver off of our team. Just remember that. Just think about how many receivers we've ran through this season alone. It's bullshit. But let's start at the top here. We're going to start right at the very top. Start with Mike Mayock. From the outside looking in, dude's a draft genius. You cannot argue that. He nailed this draft. And he has a bunch of picks in the next draft. His people skills pretty much suck overall. He's a TV personality, so he has his TV personality. But he can't bring that into the GM room. So, I mean, he's pretty much just himself out there. And I'm willing to guess overall, Mayock's pretty much a dick off camera. It's pretty much a dick on camera. That's pretty much what you have to be. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate that. And I'm so glad that he didn't fall into all that AB shit. He nipped that right in the bud. And that was a statement to the entire league. Like, yes, the culture is changing in Oakland. So I'll take that. But I wish he was a little bit more supportive of the team that he has right now. But I think Mayock is a real good GM for us. I'm real excited to see him get into this next draft, especially with the picks that we have. 2 first-rounders and then 3 third-rounders. This dude can make some magic happen. Let's go to Gruden. Gruden's scheme has become the most predictable thing in the NFL right now. And say what you want about Gruden, because trust me, there's times where I'm completely done with him. Like, completely done with him. This dude pisses me off and frustrates me. Even that last game, that jet sweep on 3rd down. What the hell was that? You have the biggest offensive line in football. You have the best blocking fullback, and you have the best fucking running back. Just shoot that shit up the middle and hand it to Ingold. Everybody knows it's coming. Just do it. That really pissed me off. That was a big turning point in that game. But Gruden's scheme only works if he has every single piece in place. And he's far from it. He is far from it right now. And it sucks to say. But if he had all his pieces, I guarantee our offense would be clicking. We would march down the field. We would be getting points on most of these drives. And we've seen it in spurts, like minor little spurts. Those 80, 90-yard drives, that's what Gruden does. That's how this team will win games. But with the talent level that he has right now, it's not going to happen. It'll happen in spurts. You might get a game or two, might get a few series in there. But for it to all link up every single week in and out, we don't have the talent for that. And it truly sucks to say. And this is where I take the most shit from you guys out there. Yes, I am a huge Derek Carr fan. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not. This dude has done a shit ton for this franchise itself. But from the outside, looking back in, he's too soft. That's what you guys say. He's too soft. He doesn't deal with criticism. He's injury prone. He dinks and dunks. He gets fast feet and whips the ball out of there real quick. That last one and the dink and dunk, that's both kind of Gruden's scheme. Get that ball out quick, take a few shots, and then pound the fucking ball down the throat. I'm still supporting Derek Carr. I've had a lot of you guys say that we need to bench him now. If you're seriously going to sit there and tell me that you want Glennon starting these last 4 games when we still have a shot at the playoffs, you are out of your freaking mind. Please tell me I'm wrong. Comment on that shit right now and tell me I'm wrong. Because that's dumb. I'm sorry. If you're a huge Glennon fan, you're dumb. I'm going to say it. If it pisses you off, unsubscribe. I do not care. Because that is a terrible idea. Then there's a lot of people who are like, well, let's just trade him or just cut him in the offseason and take the $5 million hit. Why the hell would you just cut him outright? That's a terrible idea. I'm telling you right now, Carr is going to lead us into Vegas. I've had a few people come out there and say, I'd like to see us draft a quarterback in the 3rd round, have him sit behind Carr, and then if Carr gets hurt or if something happens to where he ends up starting, so be it. I'm honestly on board for that. Anything to keep progressing this team. Because there are things from the outside looking in that piss me off about Carr. And one of it, he refuses to go deep in one-on-one coverage. He does it every now and again, but it's most likely to Waller. But then you got to ask yourself, is that Carr's fault? Or is it just the fact that our receiving core sucks? They suck. We're going to get to them in a minute. I still think we owe it to Carr to give him a shot. If Carr would have had AB and he was putting up games like this right now, I would say, yeah, screw it, Carr's done. But you put Carr in a situation like Cleveland has where he has Beckham Jr. and Landry out there, be a completely different quarterback. A completely different quarterback. And I guarantee you, in this free agency, I really hope we do it in free agency and not the draft, we need to bring in a true number 1 receiver and just see if Carr has it. Because until we have that, you cannot pass judgment on him. This offense is being forced to do one damn thing, and it's being shut down every single week. And honestly, there's not a way to fix it because we're not going to magically have a number 1 receiver pop up there that's going to demand the attention that a number 1 receiver needs. It's going to come from our tight ends. We'll get to them in a minute. Let's go ahead and that's enough on Carr. I'm sticking with Carr, even from the outside looking in. Oh, and just real quick, for those of you, I almost forgot about this comment, that want to go out and get Cam Newton, if you want Cam Newton as our starting quarterback, and I will be pissed if it happens, but I will also sit here and tell you that Cam Newton's the next greatest thing we've ever seen. I do not want that shit to happen. You guys are out of your minds. Out of your minds. Do not bring Cam Newton into what will be Vegas. No. Josh Jacobs. Not going to spend too much time on him. He is a huge piece to this. He is going to carry us pretty much through the rest of this season, which will probably end up being hopefully 10-6. I'm thinking it's going to be more 9-7, which is still a huge leap for us going forward. It's a dramatic change from last season, and I will take that all day long. But Josh Jacobs answers a huge void that we have. The biggest problem with him is there's nothing behind him. I'm a DeAndre Washington fan, but he cannot consistently show up and spell Josh Jacobs. And I know Rashard's still coming in there and doing all our 3rd downs. We need somebody else. We have to. I mean, it has to be Jacobs and somebody else. It has to be a true 1-2 punch, and we don't have that right now. Well, we do have Jacobs, and he's going to be huge for us. So let's move on to our receivers. Losing Hunter Renfrow hurts. Hunter Renfrow is an excellent number 3 wide receiver. He was a steal for us, and he is perfect for that position. So that's awesome. We can't expect him to be anything else. Do not build him up to be something that he's not. He is a number 3 receiver, and he was a great one that we got for cheap in his rookie year. Tyrell Williams was a number 3/4 receiver with the Chargers before he came to us. He is not a number 1 receiver. He had number 2 potential that would have shined behind AB. But we all know what happened with that shit. I'm not even going to get into that. But Tyrell Williams playing our number 1 receiver and everybody talking shit about him right now. And from the outside, looking in, like we're supposed to be doing, yeah, they got Tyrell Williams as the number 1 receiver. That sucks. It sucks. You don't have to put the coverage there. What do? You double Waller? Honestly, you don't even have to double Waller because he's coming out of that tight end spot. So if you check him with a linebacker and the safety picks him up right away. I mean, that's easy. That's an easy bracket for teams to cover. Trevor Davis is gone, obviously. You got Aitman and Doss. I'm surprised one of those two wasn't gone. But neither one of those guys have the potential to step up. We do not have a number one receiver. We do not have a number 3, 4, or 4, 5, and 6 receiver. And the problem is these guys, and you guys are right about this in the comment section, these guys are weak. They are. They are truly weak. They cannot get off of coverage. They just get shut down completely by man coverage because they get checked at the line and they're just done. They don't have the size to get through. They're all pretty fast, but they don't have the strength to break through to be fast afterwards. Our receiving crew right now is in terrible, terrible shape. And it's going to be the reason that we end up probably losing 2 of these last 4 games, which sucks to say. I don't think it's going to happen. That's me from the outside again. But we got to do something, and it's going to happen right here. And I'm not talking Waller. I'm talking all 3 of those dudes. All 3 of our tight ends. Gruden's going to have to take that 3 tight end package and pretty much do what Baltimore's doing with it without a running quarterback, which sucks because I know you lose a huge element of that offense, but it'll at least give us something to where we can at least run the ball consistently. And our tight ends can catch. I mean, all 3 of those dudes can catch. And they're all young. And I really, really like our tight ends right now. It's one of the strongest parts of our offense. And I think going forward, especially through these last 4, you're going to see our tight ends more than you would ever want to. Because we do not have the receivers to... You saw it last game, man. It was the fucking third quarter. We had 1 catch from a receiver for 4 yards. You're not going to win games that way. But you got to move the ball. So stick our tight ends out there. Let them pound some people. Let them flare out, catch those short passes, see if they can make something big out of it. If they can, so be it. If they can't, it is what it is. But our tight ends need to just keep doing what they're doing. And then the last piece, everybody's favorite man, Paul Guenther. Guenther, much like Gruden, he needs his key pieces. And I mean, I'll give it to you guys. He had them. At first, losing Abrams sucked for us. That set our defense back tremendously. I know that he was a rookie, but that dude's mouth and his attitude and his play style set the tone for this entire defense. And then him and Vontaze out there together on that second and third level, that you can't just lose that. And we did. We lost it completely because we lost both those dudes. Then Carl Joseph started to step back up, and we lost him too. We've been injury killed on our defense. And I'll tell you right now, even without the injuries, our coverage on running backs out of the backfield sucks. Our linebackers are not fast enough to keep up with it. If we get Vontaze back, I still think Vontaze and Lee, I'd like to see another middle linebacker come in there. But we need 2 brand new outside linebackers. Whitehead can't keep up. Morrow's good to be a Raider, but that's it. If Morrow was on another team, he would not be the starting linebacker. I promise you that. So our linebacking crew, I mean, it kills us. It kills us week in and week out. And then you get into our secondary. We have Mullins starting out there, and I love Mullins. He's coming along tremendously, and it's awesome to see. I mean, you don't want to see him out there in his first season, but the way that he's playing and responding to it, by next year, he's going to be ready to go completely. But our defense is going to continue to be eaten alive because Mullins is not a number 1 corner. Worley is not a number 1 corner. Neither one of those dudes are. Joyner, no, he was supposed to be some high-profile dude. Joyner, he's a tiny safety, man. In a defense that's stacked, he works out really well because he can shoot the field. He can go everywhere. He can pop up when people aren't expecting it. But in a defense where you're expecting him to cover Kelsey the entire game, you are out of your mind. And I mean, I get it. That would be Abrams. Abrams would be covering Kelsey, and that would be a tremendously different matchup. That's what it's going to be next year, but we don't have that. So from the outside looking in, our defensive line is looking pretty strong. If we can get one more true pass rusher on that defensive line, I honestly think our defensive line is pretty good moving forward. It won't be the best defensive line in football, but If they can get one more true pass rusher, it should put us over that 30, 35 sack mark by the end of the season for next season. And I mean, we get decent pressure right now, so teams at least have to respect that. Our linebacking core, you've seen it in every game that we've played for the past few weeks. They're just going to throw to their running backs because our linebackers cannot keep up. And that sucks to watch because you know what's coming, and it comes every single week. So we need a whole new set of linebackers. It sucks to say, and we're not going to be able to do it in one draft. But between the draft and free agency, we can at least build it up a little bit and get us going. That should push us over the hump as far as getting into a true playoff spot. And then in our secondary, Carl Joseph is going to stay on this team. When Abram comes back, and then we have Joyner, Eric Harris, I'm still up in the air on. I know that dude played great for a couple weeks, but then he kind of turned it back off. We really got to keep an eye on him. I don't know if he's going to end up making the cut going forward. I could see us getting another safety in the draft. I could see us possibly picking one up in free agency at the end of the season. But these guys are still, I mean, you saw it. They're going to get burned out there, and it's going to happen. So there you have it, guys. That was my outside look coming back in on the Raiders. Honestly, if I was sitting there and my team, say I was a Bengals fan or a Jets fan, I'm sure as shit not going to pick somebody in the AFC West because that would never happen. And then we were playing the Raiders, I would definitely think that we have a real shot at winning this game. That they're going to have to play a perfect game because they're yet to put it together. They are yet to put it together, and it sucks to see. And I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But for right now, I'm sticking with them. I'm still saying 10-6. Still saying we get that wild card spot. A lot of it comes down to that Titans game. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to do that full breakdown in a day or two. I appreciate everybody that watches this. If I pissed you off, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Somebody had to say it. I'm Joku. We'll see you guys next time.